Welcome back. How about this for a story? During a nighttime air mission in Desert Storm, Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Sweeney heard one of his crew members say, "The engines aren't on fire, they're gone." So what would you do in a situation like that? Would you freeze at this kind of horrific declaration or respond as you've been trained to? So joining us now to talk about that kind of situation is retired Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Sweeney, the only pilot, incidentally, is this correct, to ever have landed a plane successfully with 2 engines ripped off.
For KC-135, that's correct, Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't know about everybody else's airplane, but 135s, that's
Well,
2 out of 4 engines.
2 out of 4.
Thank you for being here and thank you for your service.
Didn't one of the generals say it's the best flying I ever saw?
Well, that's what General Horner said.
That's
yes,
right,
yes, yes. But I got to thank you for your service in Desert Storm also,
absolutely.
Jeff.
We can swap war stories.
Oh,
after this.
yeah. You know, the older I get, the better we work.
That's
too.
right, that's right. The better the stories get. So tell us, for people who aren't familiar with the circumstances, tell us briefly what happened.
Well, it was at night, and a KC-135 is the military version of a Boeing 707 4-engine jet.
Yeah.
And we do refueling with all the fighters in the air at 500 miles an hour. Well, we were going up to our refueling, and we hit jet wash from another KC-135 that was 2.6 miles ahead of us, 500 feet above us.
There's a good-looking pilot. Look at that.
Yeah. And the autopilot kind of messed up a little bit and threw us into a Dutch roll. Well, a Dutch roll, we were rolling 110 degrees of bank in both directions every 1.1 seconds. They got that off the black box after we landed.
Wow.
Get us out of the Dutch roll, and there's 2 firelights on. We could feel in the stick, the other pilot, I could feel it wasn't flying. So I started trading altitude for airspeed. Tell old J.C. Landers, the other pilot, started dumping gas. I said to the old boom operator, "Steve, run on back there, scan that left wing. Tell me how bad the fires are." And he comes back and says, "They're not on fire. They're gone."
They're gone.
And so then the rest is history. It's a 4-person team. Took us an hour and 15 minutes, but we got it back to a landing base where we could land.
It's a miracle.
And successfully landed.
Doesn't that take like immense strength physically and mentally to do that?
Well, the military, as Jeff knows, trains you so well. They train you to expect the unexpected, to be prepared for that toughest day, which is sometimes personal. We don't ever prepare for it. We have those tough days, we never prepared for them. As Jeff will tell you, the military prepares you for that tough day, and you just go, okay, I knew this day was coming. Here's what we're going to do. And we just, as a team, flew it back.
What our viewers should understand about how amazing this is that this happened to a KC-135 last summer, and it just, the oscillation vibration built up and it disintegrated.
Yes.
So you getting that out of that roll is pretty amazing.
Yes, well, I feel very fortunate, and everybody always looks at the picture of the airplane on the book and everything, and says, "Oh, that was the toughest thing I ever did in my life was get us out of that Dutch roll."
Sure.
And we had we had the one thing that air crews all do, American Airlines pilots, Southwest Airlines pilots, all the pilots do is we go take emergency procedure simulators where you practice for losing an engine, losing electrical power, losing hydraulic pressure. I had actually landed on 2 engines in the simulator. Now they were still on the airplane, but I knew it. We could do it, and so we take it in and land it, and I knew I could land, but Charlie Cate, who's an old retired World War II pilot, we've just been talking about Lucky, and he taught me how to land. Wow. I mean, to get us out of a Dutch roll, because I was in the Air National Guard at the time, and American Airlines had a contract with us, and he had taught me how to get out of a Dutch roll, and let me tell you, it was tough, but we made it.
So, Colonel, you've written a book,
Yes,
Pressure Cooker Confidence, and so this parlays or interprets some of the lessons you learned and practiced, really, in combat, for the rest of us.
Yes.
So what do you want people to take away from the book?
Well, I talk about the 5 principles I talk about: how properly prepare, how air crews really properly prepare. They're prepared for that tough day.
Sure.
So it's not a shock to your system when things don't go right. How to really have the passion for what you're doing. You really enjoy it and take the time to enjoy it and really have that passion to focus on the right thing at the right time. Ignore the immaterial. And as I look back on that flight, our 4-person team, I think that was the most important thing we did, was ignore the immaterial. What I mean by that is focus on what we had, not what we didn't have. How to be that great teammate for your team, for your colleagues, for your customers, and then how to have that charismatic confidence. I don't mean, that cocky Top Gun confidence like they show in the movies, but that charismatic confidence that really makes everybody want to be on your team. And then how to take that both personally and professionally and apply it.
Right.
Do you see a shortage of these principles in the way business is done today and conducted in this country?
Well,
and in organizations?
I go talk to a lot of organizations, and there's varying degrees, but you know, it's all about how to properly prepare. You know, even like you talked about golf. The recent Golf Digest magazine talked about how to really have focused preparation on the driver. Just don't just go do it, but how to really prepare for what you're doing. I think that a lot of things we can do, you really have to pay attention to how you prepare. That's why I call it proper preparation. And passion. I mean, with the dynamic economy out in today, the change is going to, you still have to have that passion in what you do every day. And I go back, ignore the immaterial. Focus on what we could. Our engines were gone, some systems were gone, but my whole team, thank goodness, focused on
What we can do.
what we can do.
Right,
Wow.
right.
Amazing.
Powerful lessons.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then teammate. You know, prepare that lowest ranking teammate. I think the best thing I ever did in my military career was a KC-135 was a 4-person team, 3 officers. And if you don't know much, now Jeff knows about the military, but if you don't know much about the military, think as officers as management. The 4th member of the team was a non-officer. The Air Force initially wanted to give all just the officers the Distinguished Flying Cross, the non-officer an Air Medal. Air Medal is a great medal, but it's not the Distinguished Flying Cross. The 3 officers, in unison, without hesitation, unbeknownst to our lowest rank, refused the Distinguished Flying Cross, put together a 35-page document. I met with a 4-star general. It took a year, but we all got the same medal.
Fantastic.
That makes
That's
you,
wonderful.
That's
you
great.
all got it.
Pressure
That's a
cooker
great
confidence.
thing.
Kevin Sweeney, Colonel,
Wow.
thank you so much for
thanks
coming
for
in.
having me, John.
We appreciate you being here to tell us your story, and once again, thanks for your service.
oh, thank you for your service,
All right.
too.
And happy Veterans Day.
Oh,
right.
same to you, John.
And coming up next on the Texas Daily, we're going to talk to another
When I
veteran
graduated
from an
from
era
AIM,
that
I became a
really
staff
may not
writer
have
with the
appreciated our veterans as much as we should have, and how he uses all of that experience to help minister to veterans now. That story is coming up next. Stay here. You're watching the Texas Daily.
Yes, you are.